present over here. Actually, we used to execute our lecture in morning, but today this is just the Saturday relaxation, and you can just see that sitting in front of you with a different look. But still, actually, the content and the delivery is important here. That what are we going to learn? Now, let me tell you, let me recapitulate that some of the points already we have completed so far. That in paper first of biology, which is related to the botany, which we have completed yeah, 3 units from the paper first. Okay, and we have started with the paper second, and we completed the first 2 units, and these are nothing but the organic evolution, that is the first unit, and the second one is the human health and diseases. The third unit, the name of the third unit is the animal husbandry. Okay, actually in daily routine life we can refer it as the applied zoology. So how can you apply the knowledge of, how can you implement the knowledge of biology in your daily routine life in order to earn your bread and butter, or in order to run your own business? How can you stand on your own place or on your own feet even without entering into the medical field or any other courses? Okay, means you can establish your own firm, or you can establish your own industry as well with the help of the knowledge of the biology. So how can we use the animals for this purpose? So group of all these, or the rearing or culturing of animals. So husbandry is nothing but the name of an industry and husbandry. Okay, even though the first, the 7 letters is related to the husband, so it is not anywhere related to that husband and all. So husbandry is an industry, okay, so in which we just we make it together, and we rear it, we culture it, we nourish them, and we feed them, and we cultivate them. The cultivation is not only related to the plants, but also it is related to an animals. So how can we rear animals? Now it is not really that what you are thinking for. Okay, if you are having pet animals in your home, so animal husbandry is not related to the pet animals, not even related to the wild animals. So in animal husbandry, so animals which we are taking for our organization purpose, for our industry purpose, they are the livestocks, or they can be useful to give you some byproducts, some products, okay, with the help of which you can sell it, you can market it in or what we can say, that whatever demands are there in population, so you can sell those products which we are getting from this industry. So applied zoology is the branch of zoology which deals with the study of an animals and its use in our daily routine life to earn the bread and butter. Okay, so in this case, now whatever cultures, different cultures are there, usually the applied zoology is related to some of the important 5 prominent fields. Okay, the first of all I can say the apiculture. Okay, the second one is the sericulture, the third one is the vermiculture, okay, the fourth one is the fishery, okay, and the fifth one is the poultry. Okay, along with this, besides this, you can see that there are some dairy products are also there. So dairy science is also one of the branch of the applied zoology. There can be many, but as far as your syllabus is concerned, at least you have to know the meaning and importance and the depth of each of that field. Okay, so at the 12th standard level and at the CVT level, at least you need to understand that what type of animal or what type of creature or what type of living organisms you are going to culture, you are going to nourish in each of that industry. Okay, so in case of apiculture, the api is the word which is derived from the apis, and apis is the name of genus. Okay, in scientific name already I think you might have studied in your 11th standard that binomial nomenclature. So binomial nomenclature means it is the system of the nomenclature or naming of organisms, whether it may be the plants or animals, with 2 scientific names. The first scientific name is the genus and the second scientific name is species. Okay, like the way we call or we refer ourselves as the Homo sapiens. The Homo is the term which is the genus in case of the scientific name of human being, and the sapiens is the name of the species, which is what we can say, how can we write it, or the rules and regulations which are related to write the scientific names or the biological names. Already you studied it, but I want to fetch your attention at, I want to bring your attention at this term apis, because the term apiculture is derived from this term apis, and apis means honeybees. Is it clear? So the rearing of honeybees or the culturing of honeybees in order to get the honey and wax, and the different byproducts are there. So honey and wax, these are the two prime products, or these are the two chief products which we get with the help of the apiculture, or by this industry, apiculture. Now you can whenever, suppose if I am pronouncing the term industry, it doesn't mean that you have to know or you have to build that industry on a large scale. But even if you are having a small the acres of some horticultural land, or even if you are having some acres of your land, farmlands, then also you can run this apiculture. And it can also be executed in your domestic area, means in home also, means around home also you can just do this apiculture. Okay, so the rearing of honeybee in order to get, now what you need to understand as far as your syllabus is concerned, that which type of organism you are going to culture in it, and the second one is that what type of products you will be getting from that. Okay, and then the third important aspect of this each of that field is that management strategies. So how can you plan out your the strategy in order to give you the more benefits? So you can see that there are many national institutes are also found in our nearby area in Pune and all. Okay, in Mumbai and in Maharashtra there are a number of at the metro cities you can see that the government will give you the subsidies, and they will provide you the materials, okay, in order to purchase it and use it in your farm. Okay, then the second one is here, that sericulture. Again the same points will be there, that which type of animals will be there, and the second one is that what type of products it will give you. Okay, what are you going to sell in market, what you have in store, what you have actually in your business. That is very important, that product which we are going to obtain at the last of this the culturing. So in sericulture, as per the name suggests, that seri, or what we can say, it is the name of the silkworm. Okay, so silkworm is the name of the larva, and the adult of the silkworm is called the silk moth. So moth, I think already you knew about it, the moth, which looks like the butterfly. It actually it is colorless butterfly, or what we can say, it is the gray colored or brown colored butterfly, the moth. Okay, sometimes actually it is nocturnal animals that time, so that's why actually you are not able to see or to to visualize that moth in full daylight. Okay, so during night they are nocturnal, means they feed on means they just go out, they come out of your territory in night in search of food or in search of their other activities. Is it clear? So moth, silk moth is having the 4 stages in their life cycle, at egg, larva, pupa and adult. Is it clear? So you need to also understand the life cycle of each of that, the life cycle of honeybee, the reproduction strategies of honeybees, the management strategies, means what we can say, that how can you manage your business in summer season, in winter and in rainy. Okay, so these 3 seasons are very important to manage and to run your business. Now in case of the sericulture, again same strategies will be there, means strategy is important and at its central theme to study, because this strategy will give you the financial benefits. Okay, let me open this laptop, then we will go through some of the MCQs after giving you some basics. Okay, so in the biological name of this silkworm is, means what we can say, the Bombyx mori is the major type of silkworm which silk sericulturist uses, okay, in their farm or in their business, what we can say. In case of apiculture, there are 4 types of honeybees are there: Apis dorsata, Apis mellifera, Apis serena indica, and Apis dorsata, Apis mellifera, Apis serena indica, and Apis florea. These 4 types of honeybees are there. Or you can also differentiate between these 4 depending on their location, that where Apis dorsata lives. Okay, you can see them at the high mountainous area or old constructions, old buildings. Okay, so they reside, they just build their hive on high upon some some constructions or some buildings. Okay, so in case of the Apis serena indica, which is native to India, okay, which is indigenous in nature, and they can also be used for this apiculture purpose. But Apis dorsata cannot be used for apiculture purpose because dorsata is the highly dangerous, or what we can say, they bite. Okay, that's why we don't usually domesticate it, or we don't utilize it in case of the apiculture. But Apis serena indica is there. Okay, CERENA, serena indica, this is the biological name of that second type of honeybee. And the third one is that Apis mellifera. Now mellifera, melli means honey and fera means to have. So they are mostly used in apiculture anywhere in India and across the country or out of the country. Okay, so mellifera is the most used species of honeybee in case of apiculture, because they are they silent in nature and they don't bite usually very often, and they are able to match with the atmosphere. So why I am telling you simultaneously, because at the same time you have to apply the same the criteria or same point of view in order to differentiate this. Now there are again 4 species of silkworms are there. Okay, silk moth is there. Okay, then eri, muga, okay, and tusser. These 4 types of silkworms are there. So each of that 4 types of silkworm and 4 types of honeybees are having some differences amongst themselves. Okay, and you need to know the differences, because the question will be based on the differences. Means you have to know the precise and concise knowledge. Okay, you have to know the fine knowledge about this. To know the meaning of this is not an important as far as the CET exam preparation is concerned, because now you already passed and already you have completed your 12th standard and you faced your so-called exam, what we can say. But now you are preparing for CET, and accordingly you have to modify and modulate your psychology and intellectuality and the way you study and the pattern. Okay, so here you need to know the names of 4 types of honeybees. You need to know the 4 types of silkworms. Okay, right now I told you the silk moth. Okay, this is the Bombyx mori, and the second one is the tusser, the third one is the muga, and the 4th one is the eri. Okay, now what are the differences amongst themselves is that the plant they feed upon, because they are very voracious feeder. Voracious feeder means they feed, they relish on their food, okay, drastically, or they just are very khadad, what we can say, or and khawaiya like type of, and that's why when you supply or when you provide them the leaves. Okay, so what type of plant you are going to use for that purpose? So in case of the silk moth, the first one is that you can say that this Bombyx mori feed upon the plant which we call as the mulberry. Is it clear? So mulberry, it is not like the strawberry, okay, blackberry, but mul and berry. So it belongs to the same family, but it is different. Okay, so in case of mulberry plant, when you cultivate it in your small area of your farmlands, that time you can just cultivate it according to the sericulture. Okay, and the way you need to cultivate those plants, and the distance between the 2 plants, and the distance between the 2 rows and columns. Okay, so it is very scientific one, and you need to understand all these criteria in order to execute the sericulture business. And if you follow it with its rules and regulations, and with the all laws and what we can say the scientific methods, then it will give you much benefits than any other business. Is it clear? So in case of tusser, again they feed upon some, the tree like leaves, leaves of the tree, okay, like the pines and the sesame and all. Then eri and muga, even though they are not having the market value, in order to give you the product. And what is the product of the silkworm, or what we can get? Like the way we can call that apiculture gives you the honey and wax and other byproducts, and here is only one is major prime and chief product of this agriculture is the cocoon, okay, and that cocoon can be spin out, or it can be, means we can extract the thread out of it, and this single thread, and by just with the help of the different sericulture equipments, okay, there are different equipments are also there, apiculture equipments and sericulture equipments. This criteria is also important as far as the CET preparation is concerned, because in case of apiculture you need to have the honey extractor, okay, the knife, okay, then we can say that the something, some clothings which can hide your face, okay, in order to grab or collect those honey, okay. Then the Langstroth honey box means that it is just used to, the put some materials in it. I have some videos as well, animated videos which I have made in PPT, and I also have some the notes of that. Now I am going to show you that, but first of all, this theory is very important, because to come into that atmosphere, that if you are learning this animal husbandry, then at least you have to know that what type of study we are going to take, or we are going to get into this, okay. Again, sericulture equipment, different sericulture equipments are there. Then you need to have the stand in order to nurture and rear the silkworms, okay. The silkworms are having the 5 stages of their larva. 5 larval stages are there. Each of that stage is called as the instar, INSTAR. Okay, the first instar larva are very smaller. Then as the day progresses, or as they develop further in size and in its weight, okay. So the second instar, then the third instar, and the fourth instar, and the fifth instar. So such type of the 5 different stages of silkworms are there, and these fourth and the fifth instar, after the fifth instar, they will develop into the silk moth, okay, adult moth, okay. So means in intermediate stage between the adult and larva is the pupa. So undergo the pupation, okay. So as soon as they undergo the pupation, we need to take care of that pupa, because the pupa is going to be, means before emerging an adult, okay, that the event occurs after 10 days after the formation of the pupa, that this pupa gets hardened, and it makes the cocoon there, and this cocoon is having a very, the properties which we can utilize for our own purpose. And human beings are very selfish. Actually, once they know that the oyster culture is also there here, suppose, once they know that oyster, if unknowingly and indirectly or accidentally, if any small stone particles gets entered into the oyster, then in order to protect from that, the stone particle or the any foreign agent, the oyster secretes some, the protective fluid around it, and that fluid, that whatever secretions are there from the oyster, it is very precious for human being, okay. It is very valuable for human being, because after the hardening and solidification of that fluid, it will be converted into a pearl. Is it clear? And once the human being knows that, after means when it accidentally the stone enters into that, okay, then the stone is converted into pearl. So after that, the human being started to insert stone particle deliberately, intentionally. Is it clear? And what happens due to that from the female population, actually the demands was increasing, that we want the triangular type of diamonds, we want that necklaces, the different square shaped, diamond shaped pearl, okay. So the human being then started to cut the stone with that shape, okay, and the shape which you are inserting into that oyster, okay, of that stone, so the pearl will develop from that shape only, Is it clear? So human beings knows that this animal is having this biological process naturally. So we are exploiting that natural process. We are utilizing that natural process. Once we understand this is their habit or this is their, the usual process, and we are, after knowing it, we are just utilizing it in our businesses. We are utilizing it in our industries. Are you getting what I am telling to you? Okay. So it is insani fitrat, or what we can say, the मानवी स्थायी भाव, that माणसाला काय एकदा कळालं की ते काय करतं, ऊस गोड आहे तर तो मुळासकट खाऊ लागतो, बरोबर आहे का नाही? म्हणजे त्या हॅबिटनुसार या पद्धतीने हे चालतं. देन सी we will see the next of these that whatever points are there in detail and in depth, okay, later on. But so far we are stressing and emphasizing more upon apiculture and sericulture, because these two cultures are most important, and each of the actually fisheries having national importance in our country, because there are means we have got the seashore or ocean, okay, means Arabian Sea is there, okay, here Hindi Mahasagar is there in south, okay, and here Bay of Bengal is there, okay, in east. So in east, west and south we have got the oceans and seas, and this fishery are having again three parts, that is three areas, that marine fishery and estuarine fisheries. The estuarine water or brackish water is in between the sea and ocean, sea and river, okay, and then freshwater fishery. Between of these, one more culture I have written here, that is the vermiculture. Now you can do it in your home as well, okay, in by excavating some land there and by forming a pit, okay. When you form a beds of your excreta, vegetable excreta or whatever manures are there, and the other leaf litters are there, so with the proper bed formation, and when you inoculate the earthworm. What is the food of earthworm? As per the name suggests, actually they live in soil, okay, they feed on soil, earth, okay, earth means soil here, and the worm like Annelida member, that is the earthworm, with the help of their wriggling. Now what human being knows, that they don't feed on seed, actually soil, but they feed on the microorganisms or organic nutrients which are found in soil, because soil can be nutritious. Is it clear? Nutritious soil also are also there. So whenever they find some organic nutrients or some the vegetable or vegetable excreta, or what we can say the leaf litters and some other materials are falling on this land, so they feed on that soil, and whatever that ingredients are there, or the mixed organic nutrients are there, that feed on that organic nutrients which are found in soil. So they don't feed directly on soil, they feed on the organic nutrients which are found in soil. Is it clear? And they continuously wriggle, or they are the burrowing animals. Earthworms are the burrowing animals, means they burrow, okay, under the ground, okay, and human being knows that this is the policy or this is their usual behavior. Now what human being thought, that if we put it in our land or in our farmland, that time they will burrow it and they can just shuffle the land, okay, they can just bring the bottom area up, okay, and they can just then the upper strata will get lower, and whatever nutritious layer is there, that will come up, okay, and the plant will directly get the availability of the nutrients, even if we don't supply them the fertilizers and other nutrients. So the plants will be able to take those nutrients from soil only, because the soil will become that loose or bhusbhushit, what we can say. This earthworm is the friend of the farmer, because it performs many key roles in the process with the help of their visual habits. Actually they don't directly help the farmers. We are taking the help of earthworms because of this is their habit. If you are doing this now, doing in our land, is it clear? So atomically and indirectly we will get the benefits, okay. So accordingly we can say that in order to, if it is converting that leaf, okay, that worn out leaf or the unused leaf, if that earthworm is able to convert that leaf litters into the fertilizers, so we can provide them leaves and we can provide them some the farm byproducts, okay, and they can convert that soil into the nutritious soil, nourishes soil, and that soil is the fertilizer actually. Vermicompost, what we can say, they form a compost, okay, or manures, and this soil can be sold in market, and you can just cultivate your plants on that soil, because that soil is already loosed one, and the aeration or water holding capacity, and the water percolation capacity, and the nutrients availability, all these criterias are there, okay, whichever are required for the plants, right? So this is also one of the very important the topic in this animal husbandry. Now the fishery, it is having a much scope because there is a separate branch. You are learning in the form of points, okay. In bachelor courses you will learn in the form of chapters, in master courses you will learn in the form of subjects, and after master courses these are as the training courses, or these are like a separate branch of the course, like apiculture, okay, training in apiculture, training in sericulture and vermiculture. So at least at this stage you need to know these terms, okay. Most of us actually, unfortunately, due to this corona crisis and due to the loose pattern of this government, and due to the negligence of your parents towards you, and due to not getting the enough guidance from the teachers, you are totally on a wrong track, okay, and this is really a big loss for this new generation. I don't think that you could have waited here for 2.5 hours if you are not having mathematics, okay. But now the thing is different, now the situation is different, scenario is different, that's why you have to behave accordingly, okay. So now we will see later on that what type of fish, three kinds of fisheries are there, and these are nothing but the, first of all, the freshwater fishery, okay. Freshwater, whatever freshwater, which water bodies are the freshwater? River, lakes, ponds, ditches, swamps, bogs, reservoir, canals, all these are what? The fresh water bodies. Estuary, okay, and the brackish water, these water bodies are found in between the fresh water and the marine water, okay. Then here the marine or marine, what we can say, whatever you feel suitable, and but the spelling should be correct. The marine, or it is having again the seas and oceans, okay. The salty water bodies, and in fresh water bodies are not always it is the fresh, or it is not the pure water, but fresh water means the salt concentration is less in fresh water, and marine water is marine, and seas and oceans are different than the river in terms of the salt concentration in it. Now whenever actually river is going to meet to sea last, okay, at the last, okay, all the rivers in our country are going to meet to Arabian Sea or some Bay of Bengal or some there and there and there. Is it clear? There are different oceans are there. 72% of our earth is occupied by earth, these oceans. Is it clear? So it is going to meet this, but the meeting point, the point or the spot, or the that point at which they meet, that is called as the estuary and water, and it is having thus both physico-chemical properties of the fresh water and seas and oceans. Is it clear? Means when this if you perform the analysis, water analysis of the estuary and water, then you can find the properties of both of these waters, okay, like the fresh water or marine water, and the type of fish they have. Now fisheries not only included the study and rearing and culturing and nourishing and selling and marketing of the fishes, but it is also related to the all aquatic animals, whatever we can the sale, or we can get the products out of it. For example, here besides fishes we can culture the crabs, lobsters, shrimps, and prawns especially. Is it clear? It's my favorite one, that prawns, and it is very nutritious one. And In fishery, we can say some other or animals are also there. They are not useful actually, and so we don't use in the fishery. But we can take in taking the byproducts, not for food, not as a food or food supplements, but we can use it in for other purposes like scales and other their skin part. Okay, it can be used for other swim bladder. Okay, air bladder. So many isinglass or gums, okay, and what we can say, which can be used in the paintings and varnishes. Okay, so they give us many byproducts apart from the food and some other nutrients. It is very useful. That's why the fishery is having the national, not only national but international importance. Okay. And because of their fecundity, means egg laying capacity of the female and their reproductive habits and their rate of reproduction is more as compared to the other animals. That's why we don't short of any time about the fishes. Okay. Now in between this, due to the lockdown of the 6-12 months, what happened that nowadays the fishery is having a boom business there, because during that period actually the fishery was prohibited or banned, because the fishermen actually they used to lived in the quarantine and other areas. That's why now fishes are more in number. Okay, so it is giving us the benefits. Now the poultry is the culturing, rearing, nourishing and management strategies in order to culture the fowls. Okay, the fowls are having all the birds or the birds or which are having the less flight, like the chickens, turkeys, okay, geezers and emus. Okay, some birds are there, so these are under the fowl category. Are you getting? So they don't fly much and they don't attain height while flying, and it gives us the eggs and meat. Especially some broilers are there which gives us the meat there, and some egg laying, it is called as means different types of bird fowls are there, especially as far as the chickens are there. Two types of chickens or combis are there. The first one is that for the meat purpose, the second one is for the egg purpose. Okay, layers, it is called as the layers and it is called as the broilers. Apart from the chickens, the turkeys, geese, have you ever heard this term any before or not? And then emu, ostrich. Okay, so these are different, and some non-indigenous like काय म्हणायचं त्याला, याच्यामध्ये येतं ते आपल्यामध्ये मिळत नाही. ऑस्ट्रेलिया आता इथं ऑस्ट्रिच वगैरे आपल्याकडे कमी मिळतं. एमो आणि काय आहे, एमो आहे, ऑस्ट्रिच आहे. ओके, आणि टर्की आणि गीज तर आहेतच आपल्याकडे. तुम्हाला इथं सुद्धा बघायला मिळते, डांगे शाळेमध्ये बघायला मिळते. बघा डांगे कसं एकदम ते एकदम एक्सायटेड होतात, आहे का नाही. कशाला सोडलं मग, 12वी इकडे केली. हे अशी प्रतारणा बेवफाई करता तुम्ही. हे बघा डेअरी सायन्स. डेअरी सायन्स म्हणजे काय आहे की जे मिल्क आणि प्लस तुम्हाला यातून बाकीचे जे डेअरी प्रोडक्ट्स आहेत ते सुद्धा भरपूर यामध्ये तुम्ही. मग काय काय डेअरी प्रोडक्ट्स तुम्हाला सांगता येतील. ॲक्च्युली वन ऑफ माय फ्रेंड ॲक्च्युली इज व्हेरी फॉन्ड ऑफ द डेअरी प्रोडक्ट्स, and he is very like the Ganpati Bappa, and yes, so usually actually they whenever he sees some Panchangada here, we have dairies and all, that time he used to inquire about that dairy products, like what yogurt is also one of the dairy product, then curd is also the dairy product, then cheese is also dairy product. Okay, so how can you obtain it from the dairy science apart from the milk? Okay, milk is the prime. Now at least you have to know the prime product. Are you getting? The prime is the honey. Wax is also there, and some many other products are there. Here silkworm gives you the silk, because this single thread of silk can give you many clothings and garments. Now in case of vermiculture, compost or fertilizer. In case of fishery, again it is having much 10 12 products are there, but the major is the food. Is it clear? The poultry egg or meat, dairy science milk. Okay, so what type of animals are used in dairy science? The first point is the dairy science only as far as your syllabus is concerned, and then the poultry. Are you getting? So in poultry again, some endogenous, some non-endogenous fowls are there, chickens are there. You need to have to know about the names of those fowls. Okay, नावं यामध्ये हा मेमरी बेस्ड चॅप्टर आहे. हे कॉन्सेप्ट जेवढा होता तेवढाच मी सांगतो तुम्हाला आज. कन्सेप्च्युअली कॉन्सेप्ट एवढे तुम्हाला माहीत असायला पाहिजे. बाकीचं काय सगळं नावं जास्त आपण घेतलेलीच नाही आहेत, आणि जे घेतलेली आहेत ते तुम्ही सिरियसली ऐकलेली नाहीत हे मलाही माहीत आहे. कळलं का नाही? ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही प्रिपेअर कराल त्याच वेळेस नावं तुम्ही ध्यानात ठेवा परीक्षेच्या आदल्या दिवशी तरी. आणि हे मेमरी बेस्ड आहे का ना, वेगळे नोट्स काढायचे असतात त्याची. कळलं का नाही? आणि मग शेवटच्या दिवशी त्याच्या टेब्युलेटेड फॉर्ममध्ये किंवा ट्री डायग्रामच्या फॉर्ममध्ये अशा फॉर्ममध्ये टाकायचं. असं निबंध असं तुम्ही असं नोट्स काढताना तसं नका काढू. मेमरी मला हे आठवणार नाही किंवा मला हे 4 नावं माहीत पाहिजेत, ते मायक्रोझिन ह्युमन वेलफेअर आहे बघा, त्याच्यामध्ये सुद्धा तर 90% ते मेमरी बेस्डच आहे. पण मला वरचे 1 ते 2 क्वेश्चन कशावर असतील मग, म्हणजे 10 मध्ये थोडक्यात म्हणजे 80% क्वेश्चन अशा या टॉपिकवर कसे असतील. जर 2 विचारले तर दोन्ही कसे असतील, मेमरी बेस्ड असतील. 4 विचारलं तर 3 कसे असतील, मेमरी बेस्ड, आणि 1 काय असेल, कॉन्सेप्ट बेस्ड. म्हणजे आजच्या लेक्चरवर तुम्हाला एकच, जर 4 प्रश्न आले यावरती तर तुम्हाला एकच प्रश्न येईल आजच्या लेक्चरवर. पण ते परफेक्ट सांगता आलं पाहिजे, तरच आपलं सार्थक झालं आणि सफल झालं लेक्चर असं आपण समजूया. आता काही थोडेसे जे थेरी आहेत ते पण पाहूया, आणि त्यानंतर थोडेसे MCQचं एक शेवटचे 15 मिनटं राहिलेले आहेत. तर मी MCQ प्रोनाऊन्स करतो ऑनलाईनवाल्यांसाठी आज. परत आपला उद्या प्रोजेक्टर येणारच आहे सोमवारी, तर त्यावेळेला आपण काय करूया, ऑनलाईन ऑफलाईन दोन्हीसाठी फायदे होईल असं शिकूया. पण शेवटी ऑफलाईनचा फरक पडणारच आहे, त्यामुळे तुम्ही मात्र उपस्थित राहूनच लेक्चर अटेंड करायचं आहे. ओके, त्यानंतर पुढं काय आहे, ॲप्लाइड बायोलॉजी बघा. ॲप्लाइड बायोलॉजीमध्ये काय येणार आहे, ॲनिमल हजबंड्री पहिला. ओके, आता बघा यामध्ये तुम्हाला लॅपटॉपमधलं दिसतं आहे का नाही बघा, त्या पद्धतीनं आपण करूया. आता थोडंसं लॅपटॉप थोडंसं मी ते काय करतो, अरेंज करतो. अरेंज केल्यानंतर थोडंसं मोबाईल पुढं घेऊया आपण, थोडंसं खाली घेऊया याला आणि याच्यावर घेऊया. ठीक आहे, तर बघा ॲनिमल हजबंड्रीमध्ये पहिला जो आहे तो डेअरी सायन्स आहे. बरोबर आहे. ऑल दीज आर द ॲनिमल्स आर प्रेझेंट ऑल अराउंड अस, बट सम ऑफ द ॲनिमल्स आर युजफुल टू ह्युमन्स. आता आपण काय करूया, यांच्यासाठी आता थिरी मी शिकवलेली आहे, फळ्यावरची त्यांना समजलेली असेल. आता बरोबर लॅपटॉप असा दिसतोय, या पद्धतीनं आपण इथे अरेंज करूया. लॅपटॉप जरी दिसला, थोडंसं वर करू का, माझा हात धरला तर काय अगोदर हात दुखायला लागला इथला मग काहीतरी आणि तुम्ही काय करता, थोडंसं पाठीमागं बसा. बघा, हाऊ ॲनिमल्स आर युजफुल टू अस, ते आपण इथे बघत आहोत. नाउ सिन्स एन्शियंट टाइम्स ॲक्च्युली द मॅन हॅज बीन हंटिंग ॲनिमल्स. तर ऑनलाईनचे जे विद्यार्थी इथं बघत आहेत त्यांनी याची दखल घ्यावी की तुमच्यासाठी आम्ही या पद्धतीची अरेंजमेंट करतो शेवटच्या 15 मिनिटामध्ये. ओके, बघा, पुरातन काळापासून माणूस हा ॲनिमलची हंटिंग करत आलेला आहे, म्हणजे शिकार करत आलेला आहे. ओके, पण आपल्याला इथं शिकार करून नाही, हे ना आपल्याला पेट ॲनिमल्स घ्यायचे आहेत ना वाईल्ड ॲनिमल्स घ्यायचे आहेत. आपल्याला काय घ्यायचे आहेत, फॉर फूड. सिन्स एन्शियंट टाइम्स ॲक्च्युली मॅन हॅज बीन युझिंग ॲनिमल्स. माणूस प्राण्यांची हंटिंग करत आलेला आहे, त्यानंतर माणूस प्राण्यांचा यूजसुद्धा करत आलेला आहे वेगवेगळ्या युजेससाठी. आता जर तुम्ही बघितलं पहिल्यांदा तर सिन्स एन्शियंट टाइम्स मॅन हॅज बीन हंटिंग द ॲनिमल्स फॉर फूड. ज्या मानवाच्या ज्या 3 मूलभूत गरजा आहेत, फूड, क्लोथिंग अँड शेल्टर. ओके, दे इट कॅन नॉट ओनली बी युज्ड बाय द प्लांट्स, but it can also be the built, or it can also be used by using the animals. Okay, and then what we can say, the clothings. Since ancient times man has been using animals for the traveling and for vehicle purpose as well. Above all, that they are used for agricultural purpose as well. Is it clear? So animals are much and more important for the human beings for their survival, because they are giving us the basic needs to survive our life. Okay, now as far as your the disease resistance and increased productivity, these criteria are concerned, nowadays the medical science, or what we can say, the applied biology branch is developed and sophisticated and modernized in that way that we can produce animals which are having the disease resistant capacities, and they are having increased productivity. So whatever the branches we have studied, like apiculture, sericulture, vermiculture, fishery, poultry and dairy science, all these the areas or industries related to the animal husbandry or applied zoology are having their products. Okay, like the way apiculture gives you the honey and wax, sericulture gives you the silk and some other byproducts, vermiculture gives you the fertilizers and vermicompost, the fishery gives you the food and food supplements and some other byproducts, poultry gives you the egg and meat, dairy science gives you the milk and dairy products. So we can increase the productivity with the help of the modern sophisticated techniques, and we can also reduce or increase the rate of fat growth as per the need or as per the demand of the population. Okay, we can bring about the early matings if they are having a particular season to mate or to copulate or to to reproduce. But with some techniques, actually advanced techniques, we can bring about the early matings as well. Have you ever have you not got astonished or surprised, because we can bring about the early matings of animals if we want it so. Okay, then reduce the cost of feeding. So all these are different. Now in case of animal breeding, now I think already you studied in paper first about the plant breeding, in which we studied the 5 different steps which are useful for the plant breeding. But here in case of animal breeding, what is meant by animal breeding? Okay, this is very important to understand it theoretically, then you will be able to face the multiple choice questions related to this. Now crossing of animals. Now breeding is not related to the crossing of the animals of the same species, but we can allow the different species to mate together, and whatever offsprings or whatever the new progeny which we are getting after mating the 2 different species, so that species will have the qualities of both the parents. Okay, if one parent is having the increased productivity and another parent is having the disease resistant capacity, so both of this capacity you need to have in one organism, so we can combine it together, we can allow it to come together. So whatever desirable characteristics like increase the production of milk, yield of eggs per year, okay, quality of meat, and these all criteria are not found in only one organism, like the way we human beings are. Okay, if any particular human being is very expert, or what we can say, having a quality in one particular task, so in other human being actually he will be good at some other field. Okay, but not all human beings have all the qualities in it similarly, but this animal breeding is the technique which can cross this philosophy, and they can bring about the combination, amalgamation, and what we can say, the union of all these qualities in one animal, whatever the qualities or criteria you want to have in one organism. Now what is breed? Okay, so oftentimes actually you might have heard this term. It is a group of animals having similar characteristics like appearance, features and size. Okay, suppose Holstein or Jersey cows are there, and they are having same type of appearance than the Desi guys, or what some other I think you might have known about that red colored guys there. Okay, means cow is there. What is the name of that? Gir. Okay, gir. Now Jersey is different. Jersey is not endogenous, the breed. Now all gir cows are having same in appearance, features and size. Okay, so they are of that type of breed. Their breed is different, their species is different, and the mating between them to breed. Okay, now sometimes we can cross the different breeds together. So accordingly the different names are there. 4 types of breeding technique is there. I think you might have known about that. Okay, we will come to it later on, and these are some of the topics already we covered in theory. So I will just cut short and we will just move forward. All also this we studied in case of this dairy science and all. Okay, now see, first of all we will start with this milch breed which yield higher quantity of milk, and the bullocks of this species are not useful in farms or transport. The superior milch buffalo breed is Mura. Okay, so this is the name of that breed. Do you know the on-gold breed bull is the costliest of all the type of bulls in India? हे आपल्याकडं बघायला मिळतात. इथं एक एक्झाम्पल सुद्धा त्यांनी दिलेलं आहे. त्यांचे प्रोडक्ट्स वगैरे, आता डेअरी प्रोडक्ट्स अमूल हे नाव फेमस आहे. ठीक आहे, तर मल्टिपल्स आपले सुरू होतील आता. त्यावेळेस आपण आता मंडेपासून जे आहे ना ते मल्टिपल्स, तरी या टॉपिकवर झालेल्या टॉपिकवरचे मिल्क बघा. ॲव्हरेज ॲन्युअल मिल्क यील्ड इज अबाउट डॅश लिटर्स पर काऊ इन इंडिया. जर तुम्ही थेरी नीट वाचली तर 170 लिटर पर काय आहे, पर काय आहे काऊ. ॲव्हरेज पूर्ण कंट्रीचं काढलेलं आहे त्यांनी. कोण 100 देत असेल, कोण 50 देत असेल, कोण 200 देत असेल, कोण 250 देत असेल, पण ओव्हरऑलमधली संख्या काय निघते मग अशी 170 ऑन ॲन ॲव्हरेज. बरोबर आहे. वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज कन्सिडर्ड ॲज मेथड टू इम्प्रूव्ह क्वालिटी अँड प्रोडक्टिव्हिटी. मॉडर्न मेथड्स ऑफ ब्रीडिंग, मोएट हे टेक्नॉलॉजी आहे नवीन, आणि प्रोडक्शन हे सगळे वापरतात ॲनिमल ब्रीडिंगमध्ये. म्हणजे मल्टिपल ओव्ह्यूल एम्ब्रिओ ट्रान्सफर MOET. ब्रीड्स इन विच काऊज आर पुअर इन मिल्क प्रोडक्शन. त्याला आता बघितलं आपण ड्रॉड ब्रीड्स म्हणायचं. मिल्क ब्रीड्समध्ये मिल्क जास्त असतं. ओके, ब्रीड्स दॅट यील्ड हायर क्वालिटी ऑफ मिल्क अँड बुलॉक्स आर नॉट युजफुल इन फार्म्स ऑर ट्रान्सपोर्ट आर मिल्क ब्रीड्स, ड्रॉड ब्रीड्स, ड्युअल पर्पज अँड ऑल. तर त्यामध्ये काय आहे, मिल्कसाठी आहे, ते ट्रान्सपोर्ट किंवा हेवी काम करण्यासाठी ते नाहीत. मॅनेजमेंट, प्रत्येकाच आपल्याला मॅनेजमेंट बघायचं आहे. एपिकल्चरचे मॅनेजमेंट स्ट्रॅटेजीज, सेरिकल्चरचे मॅनेजमेंट स्ट्रॅटेजीज, वर्मिकल्चरचे, फिशरीचे, पोल्ट्रीचे. डेप्थ याही टॉपिकमध्ये भरपूर आहे. सोमवार आणि मंगळवार या 2 दिवसामध्ये हे आपलं कंप्लीट होऊन जाईल. हा युनिट कंप्लीट होईल. परत आपण थेरी थोडीशी कंटिन्यू करूया, आणि परत मंगळवारी आपण काय करूया, याचे MCQs घेऊया. जेवढे होतील 35-40, आणि मग राहिलेले जे MCQs वगैरे जे आहेत ना ते तुम्हाला प्रिपरेशनसाठी दिले जातील. पेनड्राईव्ह घेऊन या, त्या पद्धतीने हे सगळे फोल्डर्स वगैरे मी तुम्हाला देतो. सो आय अपील अँड आय अर्ज अँड आय रिक्वेस्ट टू ऑनलाईन ऑफलाईन स्टुडंट टू अटेंड the lecture regularly, because we are going to change our the way or the pattern with the help of which we are going to execute our lecture. Here we will project a projector. Here you will get to see the question and 4 options, and here I will solve and explain those multiple choice questions. Okay, so you will not be having any problem hereafter. Okay, so I request that to attend, because the next week or few weeks, next 2 weeks are very important to complete our syllabus, because we are completing the 50% of the syllabus by Tuesday. Is it clear? Because 3 units of paper first and 3 units of paper second. Now 4 chapters, not 60, 50, but 40%. Is it clear? 4 chapters from paper first and 4 chapters from paper second will be remaining then. Till that time, have a good day. Bye bye. All the best. ठीक आहे, चला आता